evening. Oh,
Hello.
welcome to another exciting show. And we've got Dutchish Deb from Fockham
Oh, yes.
and myself, Chris, who likes to be known as Eric Von Essex. So there we go. So it's going to be a spiffing night tonight. Are you feeling? I'm feeling a bit. You know, I'm doing a few Prince Charles sort of comments. Are you Beezer tonight?
Beezer.
Beezer. Yeah, it's Beezer, isn't it? It's spiffing because the new Fockham Hall currency has been printed, as you can see. There it is.
Oh,
see?
yes.
There it is.
Yeah.
And CR, I think it stands, was it Child Roger's Friend, isn't it? CR, I think that's.
Yeah.
Or Choice of Rothschilds. So there we are. So they're and hopefully be able to download them soon.
Yeah.
So that's all right. And secondly, people have been contacting me. Thank you very much. Politely giving me a kick up the arse, putting it bluntly.
Yeah.
Why don't you have things where people can pay into our account and find out, you know, what they call it? Can't think of the word.
Yeah.
Anyway, that word. And I said I'd do it this week, but I'll do it the next week because I've been researching for tonight's show.
Yes.
And boy, it really is one. I've done over 200 shows, but between Deb and I wouldn't say nervous. I was a little bit apprehensive about doing this one.
Yeah.
Because I don't want it to be too serious. So it's going to be loosen it up, but it's a chicken and egg situation because I think I've stumbled on something that could. Now, I'm not a healer. I'm not a doctor. I'm not qualified in this. So please don't take this. Be careful what I'm going to explain later on about to do with the pineal and things like that. Now, I didn't know whether to explain that one first or second, this healing thing with the pineal, but I think I'll take it second.
Right.
Okay. So first of all, we've got an advert to do. Joe's asked me to please put this advert on.
Yes.
Okay. So here it is. See, so join us for our next moon meditation, shamanic drumming, healing experience, Friday the 14th of October, 7:30 to 9:30, 25 quid. Is that PP, postage and packing? I don't. Few spaces left. Peace and love, even Joe. And it's in the Waltham Abbey area. Here it is. And meeting in the Waltham Abbey area. Telephone Joe on 0736 728 1033. So there we go. So that's it. So if you're into that, I mean, Deb and I was going to go along. I was going to bring the spoons along. And I think you was going to bring the comb and paper, weren't you, Deb?
Yeah, comb and paper on me.
I'm sure you're very welcome there. You know,
to
a wonky triangle, and we can accompany the drummer, can't we? So I think we'd be very welcome, wouldn't we? We'd really get into the spirit of it, wouldn't we? I could take this flat cap and ferret along as well.
Yeah, I've got that.
So we're not taking Mickey, Joe. We're all very serious, you know.
Have a look.
Yes. So anyway, anyone who likes that, that's okay. Now, before we start, should we have a quick shufty in chat because it really is filling up. It actually starts about half an hour before the phone show.
Yeah, that's mostly me though.
Before we go any further, I've got to do a plug because I'm actually 3 times on a show this week. Tonight, okay. Then on Thursday, additionally, we will be doing the natural health and natural health and happiness show. Yeah, with Dr. Miles Fleetwood.
Yes.
And 8 o'clock this Thursday, and we hope that we're going to have a really good audience on Thursday at 8 o'clock. And he will be coming on when he can because he's a very well. Do you know, if you book up with him now, there's a 3-month waiting list to see him. That's how popular he is. He's really good bloke, and he's one of only, I think, 5 in this country that's Europeans that are qualified to a level of Chinese medicine.
Yeah, that's good. Is that
herbal natural medicine? So he really does know his stuff. And then on Friday. So I can't go to hear the so I can't bring my spoons along and flat hat and
No, you're
ferret to
busy.
Charmin Evening. We've got what was it now? I'm co-hosting. I've been asked to co-host. What is it, Deb?
Codes of the Unknown.
You want to shove the advert on?
Yes.
So Friday at 8 o'clock. So you're going to see me 3 times this week.
You are. You lucky people.
And if you need counselling afterwards, I know some people that might be able to help you. You know. Where is it? I think you lost it. It's here somewhere. Hang on, I'll have a quick shifty for it.
It is there somewhere. Oh, there it is. I've got it. Right. Are you ready?
Okay, here it is. So instead of Deb, it'd be me sitting here.
I have
I'll
to
try and take off your voice and put a sort of. No, I don't think you would.
I have to go to a funeral, so that's the reason I won't be there, because I'm not going to get home whatever time I get home. I'm still not going to be in time for codes. So lovely Chris is going to stand in.
Oh, thanks, Deb. Well, I feel quite honoured.
Yes.
You know, it's very kind, and you know, he's got his. Let's put his face. He's got his reputation to uphold.
Yeah.
When I go out my toilet, Hugo. So it's going to be a bit
with me on.
Right now, let's get started. Are we seated comfortably? Shall we begin? Now, this is a serious subject, which I've been wondering how to approach, because so I'll go straight into it. Okay. Now, I don't want to sort of be. I've got to tell you a few personal, not that personal, things about myself before we go further, and then we'll go on to what I've actually discovered. And again, when I say it's a chicken and egg, something that happened with this healing thing with the pineal gland, I think has triggered something that I didn't expect, and I've found out something about myself that I haven't known about all my adult life until a couple of days ago. So let's start off. Now, I don't like being single. Always have hated being single. I loathe it because there's a stigma attached to it. And
I don't think it's as bad these days.
Sorry?
I don't think it's quite as bad these days.
Not as bad. But I think it's worse for a bloke than it is a woman.
Possibly,
it's a bit weird. And I hated going to sort of family occasions, which I don't have now because I have nothing to do with the family, where you'd be like the Wally standing in the corner. And I couldn't understand why it is that my friends met normal people and had a lovely relation with these normal people, you know, nice girls, very trained. And I met what could I describe? The greatest weirdos and nutcases from. It's like these sort of inhabitants of the local lunatic asylum. So why was it? What was it about me that I would actually pick up the most tricks? And Dave Starbuck, the late great Dave Starbuck, he had the same problem. He just said, "You pick up what was it? Lost souls, loose cannons." And you know, the sort of, shall we say, the dropouts, the desperate brigade,
the ones that come next to you on the bus.
That's right, the weirdos. Hello, I got a nuclear bomb in my purse. Would you like to see it? That sort of thing. And anyway, what it is, I say stigma, about being single, but it can also be very lonely.
Yeah.
And I think some people like being on their own single. I don't. And do you like being on your own single? Yeah, I do.
I like me.
I like to be on my own occasionally, but it's sometimes nice in certain occasions to share things.
Yeah.
For example, when I was cycling through the Lee Valley Park, and you've got all this beautiful sunshine glinting off the rivers there and wildlife around. It's a beautiful day, and you're on your own. You can't share it with anybody. It's not nice. And of course, what happens with loneliness is it's a downward spiral, because what happens is when you've got time to think, you dwell on things.
Yes.
And you become somebody that I don't like, but I became, and that is a me. Poor me, poor me, poor me, poor me. Oh,
yeah.
And then that goes outwards when you speak to people, and it sets up a negative vibration. It sets off something negative. Now, I'm doing this off the cuff. I don't like reading a speech or anything like that. So excuse me if I refer to my notes occasionally, because I think it's better to do things ad lib, and that's how I prefer it. But the trouble is, when you do it ad lib, you actually get in a bit of a mucking fuddle with your notes. So so that's the trouble. Now, I was going to talk about Nikola Tesla's 369 idea. Okay, but what I'm really talking about is the subconscious, and I got hooked on watching a chap called Proctor Gallagher.
Right.
And he found out that something, and it's quite scientific, this, that your subconscious attracts what you don't want.
Yeah, I've heard that before.
Now, if I go over to my board here, and I hope this is going to work, I've got 2 pens in case one runs out.
Right.
So
we're all prepared.
Clipboard here,
yes,
you see, is what I've used for surveys and things like that. And quite honestly, it should have a government health warning on it. The places this has been, sewers, you name it. But anyway, here we go. And yes, I am left-handed. If you draw a circle, okay, that represents your mind, okay. Then I come down. The bottom circle represents you.
Right.
Okay? Now, if I put a line across that mind there we are. The top is your consciousness, okay?
Yeah.
I put con, okay?
Yes.
And the bottom part is your subconscious. Now, what happens is that when we're young, our parents program the subconscious.
Right.
Okay. So often they do it, putting it in a blunt way, a shit job of it.
Yeah.
So you think about it. What happens when you're young goes into your subconscious.
Yes.
Now, I don't want to go on too much about the next stage, but I had a less than happy childhood. Okay, I don't want people to say, "Oh, so," but I think my mother had a mental illness.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you've ever seen, was it Platoon, where the chap was bullying?
Yeah.
Well, I had that 24/7.
Right.
And when I was a teenager, I was told that I was ugly. I'd never ever find a girl because I was so ugly, and I'm smelly, got bad breath, scruffy. No girl would ever.
Negative.
Everything negative. And that registered in the subconscious.
Yeah.
And that is why I was like a Hoover vacuum cleaner, hoovering up all the negatives.
Yes. Yeah. That makes sense.
So that's the big problem. So this is the paradigm. You've got to alter, you've got to have a shift. I'll put a P there, a paradigm shift.
Yes.
Okay. Now, that's easier said than done. But first thing I've done is, now what I used to do is I used to think not along these lines, but look at it from a technical point of view and do all the statistics. Yeah. And when I look back at my notes, I must have been bleeding nuts, because I did the law of probability. And a friend of mine worked on it as well. There's 3 of us working on it. It was, let's be blunt, it's bollocks. Complete bollocks. It didn't work. And often what I've said in the design world is if part of my job was to get over impossible designs, things that people say. And I used to say to students that can't, I don't understand can't, no such word as can't, we will overcome this problem. But I didn't apply it to my own personal life. What a silly sod. And then I did all these statistics working out that you have 1 in 185,000 chance of meeting someone. And if you've got HSP, which is a highly sensitive person, that goes up to 1 in 900,000. So I got thoroughly depressed 10 years ago and just gave up. And I felt a lot better when I gave up, which is the worst thing you could ever wish to do. Never give up.
No.
Now, the thing is that turn a negative into a positive. So first of all, that what I went through, it hardened me up. And you think about it, some of the best boxers have the toughest sparring partners.
Yeah.
The 101st Airborne Division during World War II had the toughest of missions. They were a crack team. They're bloody good. Why? Because they're the toughest. Well, let's turn that round. Having a shit time with someone bullying at you until you're a load of shit. Fantastic. I mean, think of the advantages. I mean, trolls don't upset me anymore. I just laugh at them, bounce off.
Yeah.
You know, things like that, it's toughened me up. So that's a chick in the box. Don't feel sorry about it. No. I mean, I'm still here, you know. Now, the second thing, which goes into the how you achieve what you want. Now, we could have a break now, and I'll go on to how you achieve what you want. Because this only happened to me over the last couple of weeks, because I discovered something about myself. Again, I don't want this to be all about myself.
Yeah.
That I was frightened of rejection. Bloody ridiculous. So I would miss golden opportunities because I had this fear of rejection and I wasn't up to the mark.
Yeah.
So now what you've got to do, there it is, you go into that area and you reprogram it.
Yeah.
And when you reprogram it, all right, I'm still the same person, but you learn to turn, there's no such thing as a disadvantage. You had an educational experience, which is unique. So that is an advantage. Stop feeling bleeding sorry for yourself. And most of all, you change your paradigm to one of positivity.
Yes.
You become positive.
Yeah.
I will. Now, the other thing you don't say is might. There's no such thing as might. You will.
Will.
This. I will achieve this. I will. And then you look. Now, the big thing about the subconscious, the conscious works not in the here and now. It works in the past, present, and future.
Yes.
This only works in the present.
Yeah.
So the subconscious, you've got to trick it into what you want to achieve that it's happening now.
Yeah.
And you've got what you get a storage of shit in here from the past that you've got to boot out.
Yeah. Clear it out.
Clear it out. And quite honestly, what you say to your subconscious is what I'm going to put on now, which was on last week. So you go to your subconscious, and again, this is easier said than done, but we'll go into that after the adverts. And you say to it something like this.
I will not make any deals with you. I've resigned. I will not be pushed, filed, stamped, indexed, briefed, debriefed, or numbered. My life is my own.
He knows what he's on about.
That's right. And that's what you say to your subconscious.
Yeah.
And then you see, I was going to have this old 1940s tune, push out the negative, bring in the positive, Mr. In Between. But that is a very brief thing. And I don't want all this, you know, sort of, I'll pull aside and all this. No. Because life is what's gone is gone. Treat that as an education. What's ahead of you doesn't exist yet.
No.
It's the neck of the giant. And it's like this. Hang on, I've got it here. It is. It's a bit like this timer. It's a phone timer.
Ah, yeah.
You see, that is what's ahead of you. That has gone
behind you.
In the middle.
Yes.
That is what we're looking at. And I'll just put this back. Here we go. And I think that once you get it to that, the idea is the now.
Yeah.
You want it now. That's the thing. But it's easier. And I'm going to go into this in the next sort of part. You're quite right, Ancient Ruby. Words are very powerful. That's why it has spellings, isn't it? You spell.
Yeah.
You spell. And something has happened to me, which I didn't think. And it's completely changed, and I hope that I can help other people. I really do hope. I passionately hope I can help other people.
Yeah.
Because, anybody that's lonely on their own or anything like that, I really feel for them because I've been there, seen it, got the T-shirt. So there we go. And I think that if we could change this, and also on a general note, the shit that all of us are going through, we've got to change what's going on here.
Exactly.
If you think about it, during the Second World War, it was unheard of to say that we'd lose the war.
Yeah.
You're not allowed to. We win.
Yeah.
We win. We're doing it. And that was pumped out by the government all the time. So, shall we go into chat and have a quick look and see what's in my word? We've certainly got a lot.
We've got a fair few people in. Let me whiz back to the top. Right. So we've got Mike Wright, good evening. We've got Tricky Dicky. We've got Dark Angel. We've got Joe, our Joe. We've got, I'm scrolling, Ancient Ruby, good evening. Kevin Stewart, Hatchy, Bob from Rugby.
Hello, Bob.
Hello, Bob from Rugby. I always remember that now. It's weird, isn't it? Aunt Sally's in. Ralph's in. Lauren, first time here. So I've welcomed her.
Hello, Lauren. Hang on, I know him. I think I know who Lauren is. Hello, Lauren.
Dan Mack's in.
Yeah.
In the house.
I think we've got Paul from New Zealand, haven't we?
We've got Paul from New Zealand. I haven't got to him yet. Oh, yeah. Right. Yeah, I've caught up now.
Yes.
We've got Paul from New Zealand, but he's gone to make a coffee.
Yes.
I told him
this is interesting what Dark Angel said. You have reprogrammed your thinking, Chris.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's just,
by the way,
it's one of those things where you've got to consciously be doing it all the time.
Yeah.
Because I've done it. Because I've suffered with like mental health problems, and
sorry to hear that.
Yeah, it's one of them things, isn't it? I mean, we all go through a bit of it, but a bit more than others. But it's just you get into the mindset of thinking that nothing's going to get any better, and you, like Dark Angel said a while back, like attracts. I think it was Dark Angel said like attracts like. So if you're thinking negative all the time, then you're going to attract negative, and nothing is going to get better. So you've got to try, and even at the worst, whatever's happening, you've got to see a positive side to it. And it is hard to do. You've got to have dedication to do it, because you've got to, as soon as a bad thought comes in, you've got to knock it out and change it round so that you're not thinking that way. But some people they get too far down and they can't seem to do that. It is hard work. It's hard work.
And also, it can actually affect your physical health. I mean, that's what gave me high blood pressure.
Yes.
I'm positive it's what gave me high blood pressure, because and it can do things like that. But you see, the thing is, it's easy to be lonely in a crowd of people.
Yeah.
Married people are sometimes lonely.
Yeah.
That's because it's. I mean, did you know that Elvis Presley was lonely?
Was he?
He actually suffered from loneliness all his life.
Yeah.
People don't realise that, and there he is on the stage, And old Tricky Dicky said something very nice. Whoever is this week, everybody. Oh, thanks, Tricky Dicky. It's very kind.
Richard.
Mind you, by Saturday, I think everybody needs sort of psychiatric help after having 3 bleeding doses.
Everybody will need you to next week off.
Yeah.
Not him again.
Don't tell Miles this, all right? So if he's listening, Miles, shove your fingers in your ears, mate, all right? He uses an Apple iPad, and it's crappy. So, but here is, it's going to work fine on Thursday. So let's hope so. But we're going to be positive. It's going to be work well.
It'll be a good show.
Yes, that's it. So I mean, that is something, and I like all this, people from around the world are saying good morning, good afternoon, and all this, so it's quite interesting. Now, this is quite interesting from, Dark Angel said we've reprogrammed your thinking, Chris, and it's tricky. He says, I was told on a course that if you're prone to anxiety or sadness, write down 3 nice things or things that you are grateful for that happened that day. For 3 weeks, on your brain will change. That is the secret, writing it down.
It is true. My friend does that.
Yes. Be grateful for what you have.
And it doesn't have to be anything much. It doesn't have to be anything significant. Just 3 nice little things. It could be that you made a decent coffee. It could be anything. But
Well, that's the simple things in life. And this brings me on to how you actually do this. Now, I've looked at the Proctor Gallagher technique, and I've also looked at the 3-6-9 technique, which I have not tried out. Okay, but I plan to, which is a negative. I shouldn't say that. I will do. Okay.
Yes,
now, that's right. I will. Now, I'm going to look at, and also I'm going to Hobbes' law. I want to be looking at. Now, I'm looking at my notes, which is all over the bleeding place.
Mr. Organised.
I don't know what it is. I've always done it because what it was, you see, when I was on the drawing board, I used to write notes. Everybody does that around the side of the drawing board. And I still do it in diaries, write notes around the outside. I can't bloody find anything. Right. So with the 3, it's the divine code 3-6-9. And apparently, hang on, what I've got here?
Buy milk and
I'm on the wrong bloody page. Right, 3-6-9. It's all to do with vibration, energy, and frequency.
Yeah.
Those 3 things. Vibration, frequency, energy. That's the 3 things. And the way it was said, I've seen loads of YouTube channels, I've been reading up about it and things like that, is Nikola Tesla, I'm not talking about Tesla, the bloke who does electric cars. No. He actually did some very weird things. He would open the door 3 times, walk umpteen times around a building and things like that. Now, that's a bit extreme, but what the idea is that you write down 3 things that you want, that you passionately want. Okay.
Right.
So if you're not very well, you're well.
Yeah.
Okay. If you've got something wrong, like, I don't know, got someone bashed you on your head, you don't feel very, you've got a bump on your head and you want that bump to go down, you write that down or whatever you want. And you write it down on sticky notes and you stick them around your house.
Right.
But make sure that whatever notes, best to keep it through and then put it in your pocket. I've got one of these little flap up sort of notelet things.
Yeah.
You write it down on each page. Okay. And then you, for 9 seconds, every 6 times a day, preferably at 6, 9, 12 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 6 o'clock, 9 o'clock, that type of thing, 6 times a day, you then chant for 9 seconds these 3 things that you want.
Right.
And you do that for 9 days. And you keep chanting, but you've got to believe in it. You've got to see it. You've got to believe.
Yeah, the intent's got to be there.
Intensity of it. Okay. Now, people apparently have been cured by it, and there was an experiment that was done with rats, which wasn't very nice. I believe it was in America.
Never is.
Where they put some rats in a bucket of water until they almost drowned and got them out. And once they'd recovered, they put them back in the water again. Now, the first time they did it, I can't remember how long the rats lasted for. I think it was about 6 minutes. The second time they did it, they lasted for an hour.
Right.
And the reason why they lasted an hour, because they believed they was going to be rescued.
Yeah. No, that's
so
fine.
they found,
I don't like that.
I don't like that, but that was an inner energy that they had actually found. Now, that idea with Tesla It may work for you, but I think it's what you feel most comfortable with, what you feel you really are the best with. And there is another technique, which this is the Proctor Gallagher technique, which I'll just take this off here. Here we are. Now, if you are looking for your soulmate, one that you want in life, again, you draw a circle. Okay.
Right. Yep.
Now, if you're a woman and you're looking for a bloke, or if you're a bloke looking for a woman, whatever, so I'll put.
You're going to draw eyes on it, aren't you?
Woman. You don't put a face to it, it's woman. Okay?
Right. Yep.
Then, turning his page very, very quickly, you then do like rays of the sun.
Ah, yeah.
Out. Like that.
Yeah.
See? Okay.
Yeah.
Right. Now you think very deeply what you want. You want this soulmate of yours to be happy. So you write happy down.
Yeah.
It is.
So it's all the qualities you want in somebody.
All the qualities that you want. Of course, you've got to give those qualities as well.
Yeah.
Then you want the person to be free. When I say free,
yeah,
you don't want what we used to call a baggage handler.
Yeah.
We'll go into that a little bit later. Okay.
Yeah.
Then you want that person to be good appearance.
Yeah.
You don't want it to be what they're called a Michelin person.
Yeah.
Do you know what a Michelin person is?
No.
A Michelin person, you've seen the Michelin Man, haven't you?
Yeah.
Right. That is a person that believes they are thin, beautiful,
right,
and a bit like a fashion model.
Yeah.
But in fact, they look like the Michelin Man.
Right.
See, so that is a Michelin person, you see.
Right.
And you put all these different things like caring, like that. And you do this right the way around, all these different qualities. Healthy, it's another one.
Yeah.
There we go, healthy. And there's the other one, what is it now? Now, into sort of personal growth and all these different things.
Yeah.
Spiritual.
Yes.
Hearing, all that. And then you keep that and you keep looking into that. Now, this is the next stage, which I'm not fully into because I think it's a bit dangerous. And I don't really, poor sod's dead now. That's the chap called Proctor Gallagher. What he said was, hang on, I've lost you. Where you gone? You still there?
Yeah.
Oh, that's it. Sorry, something went funny on my computer.
All right.
Now, what he said, and this, he said, make out you've got that person and imagine that they're in your life.
Yeah.
But that is a bit like having an imaginary friend, which I think is a little bit, I don't know about that. I think that's a little bit, because if you live your life as if that person exists, and what it is, it's to actually hit. You see, remember what I said? The subconscious works in the now.
Yeah.
Okay. And because the subconscious works in the now, you've got to get that to believe that what you want is the now. That's interesting you and I need to talk, Chris, as a far more quicker recovery to be positive habits or happy with yourself.
There you go.
So that's interesting. But
I should put up Chris's email address, Ruby. You can drop him a line.
Thank you very much.
You go.
And by the way, this, as I say, but remember, the subconscious is in the here and now. And that's why you imagine this thing. Like, for example, I went for a bike ride. I went up to see Miles's place. He wasn't there on Saturday, but to pick up these cards and things.
Yeah.
And by the way, got a nice card advertising Thursday's show now. Look at that.
Yes.
Posh, isn't it?
Posh.
Yeah,
very posh.
so I'm giving him out. So we hope you can join us on Thursday.
Yes.
Deb and I having a laugh at Miles.
So
That's the thing. You've got to wake up in the morning. This is a fantastic day. This will be achieved. The perfect person is with me now. And that sort of thing. And
see,
the
I'm seeing this.
That's right. And declutter your mind.
Yeah. I'm seeing that a different way, that you put with the spikes. Yeah. That's more like, that's the person that you want to be with. So you're drawing them towards you because you've made that. It's not imagining that she's with you all the time, but it's more like that's what you want and that's what you want to draw towards you.
Yeah.
So in that case, I don't think that's that dangerous.
Possibly. I don't know. But you see, the thing is, if I've got this imaginary friend, I mean, so hello, I'd like you to meet my imaginary friend. She's a funny girl. She's a glass of water. You know? Yeah, she's definitely gone now.
When you're going and taking her out for coffee.
Well, that's right. Yes.
But yeah, I get the principle. I get the principle, but it's more like drawing that person towards you.
Yes.
Rather than imagining that they're there with you.
That's right.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you something that's happened in the last couple of days, and anybody is changing, doing this type of thing, will find this. So don't worry. And that is, as the shit, excuse my language, is being, this is being reprogrammed, the shit's coming out. I've had massive panic attacks.
Yeah.
And apparently you do.
Yeah.
Because it's drawing the shit out.
Yeah, because it's been with you all that time.
That's right. And you've got to get rid of it. That's it. Now we're going to go on to a healing thing that I hope I'm not too long-toothed about this. And the other thing, you got, so if you've had physical abuse and psychological abuse, because I always think of sexual abuse, no, but what about psychological and physical abuse?
Physical, yeah.
You keep apologising all the time. I drove myself up the bleeding wall, keep apologising. No, you apologise when you're wrong, but you don't apologise for almost anything. Yeah. But that is something that you do find. So that, again, is a negative that goes into a positive.
Yeah.
But as you're getting rid of all this negativity, it wants to stay there. It likes where you are.
Of course it does.
That's right. And I'm going to go on to the demons and things like that, very lightly, that you've got to watch out for.
Yeah. Because
there are some mines that you can tread on that are going,
yeah.
That's it. So be careful. So I'll go on to the next stage after that. And I think we've got to light it up a bit because I don't want it to become too serious. Because this is a laugh, isn't it? So I think there's a fantastic new Fuck 'em all red advert, isn't there, Deb?
There is. Would you like to see it?
Oh, yes, please. Oh, by the way, get your wallets ready because some bloody good stuff in this place.
You're going to be spending here. Right.
I know. It's better than
shoppers. Want to shop for quick meals at half the price or less of conventional supermarkets? Here at Fock and Fresh Store, we have all you'll need for that midweek feast. All our foods are sourced from somewhere. They're fairly fresh and tasty too. Fancy a vegetarian night? Then try our fagottini combined with swallow balls. Boy, what a meal. Wash that down with a selection of lagers and wines from our drinks aisle and you're on to a winner. Not an alcoholic? No problem. Just check out the selection of teas and cold drinks in our not a raging alcoholic aisle. There's sure to be something to tickle your fancy. And to finish your meal and feel as full can be, head to our crunchy aisle and peruse the sweet treats there. We have offers on constantly, so you'll be shopping at great prices. Just grab a trolley. There are even a few that have the full complement of 4 wheels. Head on in and shop till you drop. You'll be glad you shopped at Fock and Fresh Store.
I like that one. That's a classic. That really is a classic.
There is another one. I think we shall play that later on.
Yeah. Yeah. Because you know they've got another one as well, ain't you?
Yes. I've been busy.
We'll do that one a bit later on. And I remember in France you could buy something, I don't think you buy anymore, called piss shit.
Nice.
P-I-S-C-H-I-T. I'd like some piss shit, please. There was also, because what I've been thinking of doing is each week having a very small. I'm not sure with the copyright we can actually do this. I'm not too sure about it. I'll look into it. Whether we can try and do the worst record spot where we can vote on the world's worst record that's ever produced. And apparently, what got the absolute winner, this was done by Kenny Everett years ago, was "I Want My Baby Back," which it won it got bad taste and everything that was bad. It was so bad, it was almost good, you know.
Yeah.
So look up on YouTube, "I Want My Baby Back." It's shit.
Yeah, I'll check that out. As long as it's not by ABBA, I'm fine.
It's sick. It's beyond sick. So that's it. Right. So shall we have a quick look in chat again? That's what we've got here. So we got here. When I deal with unpleasant clients at work, I kill them with kindness. That's an interesting one, Tricky Diggy.
I struggle with that, Tricky. I can't. I really, really struggle doing that. When people say, "Oh, just smile sweetly and nod," I'm like, I can't do that. However hard I try, I can't do that.
Yes. This is another one. This is Mike Wright says, "I just laugh at it all now rather than let you down." Yeah, but you could probably do that because your subconscious has been programmed. Okay. See, when you think about it, and you're always getting people, I don't mind, but you see, we're all programmed in a different way. We all come from different angles, and it's the reprogramming that is necessary. You know, for example, I used to have a fear of dogs. Don't any longer. I got over it. And the reason I had a fear of dogs is because my mother had a fear of dogs and she passed it on to me because she got bitten when she was a kid. So these things can be given by your parents, not in a bad way. I mean, my father was an angel. I shouldn't really say it's my mother that had the mental problem. I didn't realise it at the time, you see, but that's the thing. But that has made the advantage of that is incredible. I've had that experience that other people haven't had, so it's toughened me up. So that is an advantage, it's not a disadvantage. That is the thing, you know. And this is the problem. Now, I'm going to go on to the pineal gland and something I've discovered that might be able to heal people.
Yeah.
Now, before I go any further, I'm not trained in medicine. I've got no qualifications in it whatsoever. Please don't, check these things off. That's right. Don't say, I stuck my finger in my ear hole because Eric Von Essex said you should do it, Nothing like that. Now, some weeks ago, I said that there was a tribe in the Solomon Islands that used to, before they got married, they would link their heads together like this, foreheads together, all night, and link their pineal gland so that they could sort of communicate in a different sort of way. Now, I was talking about that. It's a bit dangerous. It is a bit dangerous because you've got to do it with someone that you know well. Yeah. You don't, you could let anything in.
No, you don't go up to a stranger in the street and trying it out, do you really?
Oh, no. And there are 3 types that you should guard against by doing this if you don't know. For example, psychopaths, obviously, because they've got demons that can get in. Because what you do, you see, is you link. That it's got to be male and female because we come from male and female, all of us. So you link. It's about there, roughly. There, you've got to find it, and you link in with the opposite partner. And then there's like a little ridge there. Yeah. That you massage slightly. Okay. And I did this with a person. Now, there's nothing rude, nothing sexual about it, nothing like that. We did it in the park, actually. Those are people around. So, there's nothing, you're not going to get arrested for it. It's perfectly, what I'm saying is nothing kinky, weird, or anything like that. Yeah. This is to do
maybe a bit weird, but not kinky.
Spiritual things. And if you tuned in for something weird and think kinky like that, you're on the wrong channel.
Yeah.
Anyway, if you're on you've got the same energy, frequency, and it's gone again. Energy, frequency, and your vibration.
Vibration, yeah.
They say it can take about 5 minutes to kick in. Well, the person that I did this with, it kicked in within a minute. And you can't put into words what it's like. It's just out of this world.
Right.
But you chant a mantra, not verbally or anything like that, in your head.
In your head, yeah.
And you're transferring something. That mantra can be whatever you want. Okay. I won't say what it is because you're not supposed to say what it is.
Oh, no.
And it's afterwards, you're on a high. It's the greatest high without, I don't know if you've ever tried this, Deb, but it really does give you a high. You're walking on air, you know, and it's okay. It's perfectly legal, you know, there's no illegal drugs involved, there's no alcohol or anything like that. And what happened, the person lady I did this with her, it lasted 30 minutes. With me, it lasted an hour.
Right.
But then something happens a day or two later. I started to think differently.
Yeah.
And then I suddenly started finding this stuff out, what I was talking about earlier. So perhaps something healing came into me to sort out whatever it was in the subconscious.
Yeah.
Perhaps, I'm not saying it did, but it seems a strange coincidence that happened, and my life hasn't been the same in a good way.
Yeah.
So
you've taken on some of her spiritual energy by the sound of it.
Maybe. I just don't know. But there are some warning signs with this. You see, as there's some negativity there, that could go the opposite way. And if that girl had started to get manic depression and started to get panic attacks, I'd never forgive myself.
Yeah.
So that's why I've said stop until this is all sorted out.
Yeah.
Because if I do, I don't want it to go the other way. I think it's okay, but you know what I mean? It can go the other way. Because what's happening, when you're linking your pineal glands together, you're opening your heart, your chakras, that type of thing. And anything evil, demons can get in because you're very, very vulnerable. Now, that's what I didn't know at the time when I started this. This is why it's dangerous.
Yeah.
Very, very dangerous unless you know that person. And that's why I think that on the Solomon Islands, and there are in other cultures that did it, where they link their head like this, the inner, I think they do it in India as well, some places in India.
Yeah.
If they don't get anything, they're not compatible. That's
right,
it. Yeah. They're not on the same frequency. If it's a blank, that's it. Now, I'm going to tell you about the landmines and the things to watch out for. Now, obviously, psychopaths carry demons. And you've got to be very, very careful because they're looking for an entrance into your soul, into you. And of course, when you're opening your heart, because it's a kind of extreme love. It's a most bizarre. I say, but that's not wrong. But like, there's the kind of messages coming to you, but they're not in any language.
Right.
It's. I can't explain it. I wish I could. I've been trying to explain, but I can't explain. It's a fantastic buzz.
Yeah. Like
great.
Euphoria.
That's right. But what you've got to be careful of now. There's drinkers, alcoholics, and boozers. Alcoholics are easy to spot. Oh, hello, what's this from Paul Green? Think you need to be careful with that, Chris. You could leave yourself open.
Hello,
not trust anyone. Hello, it's gone off again. Am I coming back? Hey, that's it every week.
Who?
Open would not trust anyone with this. I 100% agree with you, Paul. And I was very stupid at the beginning because I didn't know enough about it. I found out more about it.
Yeah.
Now, my sister married a boozer. There's a big difference between alcoholics and boozers. Alcoholics are and they're pissed all the time. A boozer is like who's that chap that married Elizabeth Taylor? Richard Burton.
Richard Burton, yeah.
Now Richard Burton was a boozer. He wasn't an alcoholic. He was a boozer. Yeah. And a boozer, they consume vast amounts of alcohol and still be sober. And they never smell alcohol on their breath. My brother-in-law is like that. He can consume vast amounts of alcohol and he's also, I believe, a psychopath. And he is never drunk. They were never ever drunk at all. They're as actual sober as a judge. And my sister would
also, if he's a psychopath, he won't want to be out of control. So he's taught himself that he can drink what he wants and still stay in control. That's my theory.
That is spot on. That's spot on. And I'll tell you something else. They're also what I call emotional bungee jumpers. Because what they'll be all round you like a bloody rash one moment, and then not. And then all round you by a mash. So they're playing the piano with your emotions.
Yeah.
And that's what my sister said. That's why I think she's up around a twist. She became narcissist because she had that. I feel sorry for her in a way.
Yeah.
And it's backwards and forwards with emotion. I mean, for example, she would give him a kiss and he'd go, "Thank you." No response back.
No. Strange.
You know, and then if he wanted to talk, you could talk to him for ages. Might make a nice conversation one moment, but you never find out anything about him.
No.
Like a Chinese
guarded.
That's right. And then another time, no. Now I've been out with boozers, 2 boozers, almost had a nervous breakdown with one.
Yeah.
So, and they're very difficult to spot. Very, very difficult because they sometimes hide it. But they're not alcoholics. They're boozers. And the fact is, because their body can absorb the booze, demons are queuing up. So they might be very nice people.
Yeah.
But they're using them like a bus.
Yeah.
And they're being carried around. So that's right. You link your pineal gland, boom, they're in. Because you're opening your heart.
Yeah.
So that's why. Now, for example, I was thinking that if you're a couple, okay, and one of you is ill, or Tom and Dick, maybe, just maybe, the stronger one might be able to heal the other one.
Oh, yeah.
Just a thought. But you've got to do that mantra. And it's got to be relaxed. And you've got to have the same energy levels, frequency, and vibration. They're the 3 things you've got to get right.
Yes.
And that is basically it. It's a sort of a situation, but be very, 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 very careful.
Yeah.
Because if you're anyone or any body that's carrying demons, they will be in your body. They'll be very, very quickly. But the 2 fears I've got in life is, number 1, from people, this is psychopaths, and the second one is boozers.
Yeah.
Because like Richard Burton, he said booze is like food to them.
Yeah.
They don't think it, but they can, it's sort of bonk, 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 bonk. I mean, I was subsidising a local brewery because they're knocking it down, 1 pint, 2 pints, 3 pints, then a whiskey, then the chasers, then a whiskey. Yeah. I mean, my sister, said she woke up one morning. The tin, the bin was full of tins of beer, and half a bottle of Southern Comfort had gone through in the night.
Jeez.
And sober as anything next morning.
No.
That's unbelievable. And I actually had this experience. There's a girl I knew. She could go through pints, it's going out of fashion, then straight onto the whiskey chasers, bonk, bonk, but never drunk. Absolutely sober as anything.
Yeah.
Terrified, because 9 times out of 10, not always, they're carrying demons.
Yeah.
Because that's why they call it spirits, isn't it? And again, I'm not religious, but I do actually believe that there are nasty spirits around. So you've got to be on your guard all the time.
Definitely.
And also, you've got to have this emotional bungee jumping. If you're strong enough to take it, well, all right. But if you're not, then back off, because you're going to have all around you like a rash. Don't want to know you. Do want to know you. Won't want to know you.
With your emotions.
Yeah, they're just playing the piano with your emotions all the time.
Yeah.
So that's the thing to sort of, blowing hot and cold, I suppose you could call it. And that's it. Now, we've got a full one in. There's just some interesting ones in chat here. What's this? Now, many people look for what they see as vulnerable weaknesses, like kindness, then abuse it. So be careful. Well, that's it. You get fake friends. Yeah. If you're, I was an emotional vacuum cleaner. I think you become an emotional vacuum cleaner because you vacuum up, you attract all the negatives.
Yeah, like a magnet.
That's right. You get the fake friends who will be your friend one moment, then because they're lacking something in their personality, will be very rude and abusive to you the next moment.
Yeah.
Because they know they can get away with it. Well, that's stopped now. And also fear of rejection. That's stopped now. I don't fear being rejected. That's type of things. But it's like everything else, the most difficult problems sometimes have the simplest of answers. It's like in the design world. It's embarrassingly simple. And it's like the chap who built a Spitfire from boxes from the Irish Air Force. And what he did, they'd actually left it in a hangar, the Spitfire, for years, and he bought it cheap. And it was a very rare one because it was a trainer one, which was a dual cockpit.
Dual,
one behind the other. And when the inspector came to give it its certificate of airworthiness, they couldn't turn it on. And they started, and it wouldn't fire up. And this bloke's almost having a nervous breakdown. And luckily, the bloke that was filled, who was to give the certificate of airworthiness, after about 10 minutes of hell, the bloke said, "Have you tried switching the fuel on?" Put the fuel on, boom, started immediately.
Yeah.
Simple answer.
Yeah.
And I've got a very true and nice story about serendipity. Yes. Because the very strange thing is when you start thinking positive, weird things happen.
Yes.
I'll give you an example. I woke up Sunday morning and there's brief seconds, someone who I haven't seen for a long time flashed through my mind. Very nice person. And why? Just don't know. Do you ever get that? Somebody that you haven't seen for long just flashing. Anyway, I went to this stand-up and there was in the park, there was this, was it some awareness day? It's like mental health awareness day in Edinburgh. Not my scene. Oh, bloody hell, there's a few of us standing around there. And I left an hour early. I normally leave about 4, I left about 3. And it was a lovely day. I was cycling along, went through the woods. It's semi-rural where I live. Mm. And as I was going down this hill, I saw that person from the back. I thought, is it them? Is it them? What's them? They're going to put some flowers in mother's grave. 1,000,000 to 1 chance, because I pass there every week.
Yeah.
They're weird.
Serendipity.
Now, do you want to hear the story about what happened with serendipity?
Yes.
It's a beautiful story, and it's a true story because the woman narrates the story on the tape that Dave Starbuck did. It happened to Dave Starbuck.
Right.
Now, he was, as you say, an emotional vacuum cleaner like me. Like I was. I'll make that very clear. I was. Okay. And by the way, Tricky Dicky said he only drinks alcohol to relax. Yeah, I say teetotal. I do drink occasionally. I used to drink cider until I found out they put what's that?
Apples in it.
They put apples in it. Yeah. Oh, aspartame.
Ah, right. Yeah.
Be careful. So if you go to a pub, there's every possibility it'll have aspartame in it. And but you can buy it. I mean, I used to buy some fantastic cider in Aldi that didn't have aspartame in. But you can only drink it at home. So I don't drink cider in a pub anymore. I might have half a Guinness, something like that, but no more than that. And I prefer a cup of tea actually. Because to me, and wine to me is like fizzy piss. I mean, I've got a palate like an old boot. I mean, you could probably give me fizzy piss and wine. I'd probably go for the fizzy piss. I'd go a bit salty. Yeah, it's a fine brew that is. I think that's an idea. Because I don't like fizzy drinks. I like cold drinks, really. Boring fart,
Drink water.
That's right. But if I'm not driving, I might have a half a Guinness, pint maybe, but that will be the maximum. No more than that. No. And so I'm not strictly teetotal, but most of the time I actually got good contracts because I didn't drink. Because I got so, my language, pissed off with boozers and alcoholics come, because in architecture there's a very high percentage of boozers and alcoholics. I've worked with them. They're pathetic as well. And they go and have their liquid lunch and come back and working away. Anyway, that's it. Actually, I on 2 contracts, I was actually asked, and I said, well, when you sign a contract, you say, you don't drink, do you? I said, no. But, and it because they knew I wasn't going to get pissed out of my mind and cause trouble. Be sober all the time. So that's it. And also, I don't like being slightly giddy and sort of not quite with my faculties.
I do. I like that. I don't like. I'm no good on spirits because spirits make me nasty, really nasty.
Yes.
But I like that. I like that giddy kind of like relaxed. I get to that point, but I know my limit. I know when I have to stop. I never used
to. Mine's just sniffing it.
Now.
I could just sniff the alcohol, and that probably send me on a high,
Yeah.
But yeah, I know what you mean. I mean, I used to drink Bacardi.
Yeah.
Bacardi and Coke, and that quite a lot, and it didn't do me any good. But my brother-in-law, he's that's Southern Comfort. That's his whiskey chaser.
I once had a really bad experience on Southern Comfort. I've never drunk it since.
Really?
Smell it.
Well, normally, if you have beer and spirits, that's lethal.
Yeah.
It's not sort of, but
don't mix your grape in your grain.
That's right. Yes. But now it's not interesting. Was it interesting? I only drink alcohol to relax and be more sociable. Yeah, but what about if you're unsociable, Git, like me? Not the taste. I'm a very nervy person. I also suffer from what's this?
Cervical dystonia.
I don't know what that is. Alcohol gives relief, but not if taken too frequently. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, tricky dicky. It sounds nasty.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I was drinking to be sociable. Let's put it that way. But I won't go have that much. Yeah. Also, another thing about my brother-in-law and the boozers I work with, they've got cast iron bladders. They never go to the loo, but they drink gallons of it.
I don't understand that. I'm never away from the loo and I can just have like a glass of water.
Yeah. I mean, a half a Guinness, I'll be in the loo, I mean, a pint. It's weird, isn't it? I just don't get it. No.
See, Mike's made a comment here.
Yeah.
Being in the West Country, farmhouse ciders are easy to come by and much more potent. So I said, is it fizzy? Because I don't like scrumpy kind of stuff. And he said, not really, Deb. Some have lumps in them, which is...
lumpy cider.
A meal and a drink.
If you have organic drink, like from Cyprus, you don't get drunk. You don't get a hangover.
No, because it's the chemical put in it, isn't it?
Yeah. That's the thing. And I mean, I'll tell you something. When I went to Greece, I loved ouzo. I could drink gallons of that bloody stuff.
Proper ouzo.
I was knocking that back, and there was another one night. It wasn't the piss shit in France, though. So, can you actually go to a bar? I like some fish shit.
Yeah, just a minute there, I'll be with you shortly.
Yeah, but right, I was going to tell you about Serendipity. Okay, now Serendipity. This happens to the late Dave Starbuck. He was a numerologist, and he was a self-employed reporter who was one of the first to, shall we say, be awake.
Yeah.
So he was quite a awake person. Well, he had split up from his wife, and I actually spoke to his wife. Very nice lady, but you couldn't get. I think she thought that words were you had to pay tax on them because you'd be lucky if you get 3 words. So,
right.
Hello. And how are you today? Okay. Oh, okay, right. And he was all way, full of laughter. Anyway, he split up. He was a bit done. He used to go to Vienna every year because he was into coins, collecting them, gold and things like that. Gave me a lot of advice on that. And he could speak German. Anyway, him and a mate of his who was into coins, I think he built rooms there or something. I don't quite know the full story of this. I'd have to go back and listen because he did this sort of like audio tape of what happened. So anyway, he was a bit down, but he was always a very sort of positive type of bloke. And I don't know whether he looked into what I've looked into or whatever. I just don't know. But he didn't have the internet or anything like that. He wouldn't allow a computer in his house. And he used to dictate to a secretary because he said that the powers that be could come into his house and put anything on that computer and frame him. So, Anyway, on with the story. He was going to Vienna and his suitcase was a bit shitty. So he decided to go and buy himself another one. And he was going down to the local town. Whilst on the road on the way there, he looked into a charity shop and saw this perfect, sort of holiday suitcase.
Yeah.
Well, he wanted, so he went and bought it. He just walked along the road, and I think he went by bus. And he was at the bus depot or somewhere like that. And there was a lady who was very smartly dressed, but a bit stressed, a bit dishevelled, and she had loads of bags on her, and she was like this, and strange. And suddenly one of her bags tore open, and her clothing went all over the road and everywhere. So being a gentleman that he is, he came over to her and he said, "Oh dear, it's not your day, is it?" He said, "Look, I've just bought this suitcase." And he put all her stuff into his suitcase and said, "You can have this with my compliments."
Right.
And he said, "Don't worry." He said, "Oh, I have to pay." No. Take your day. You've had a negative, you had a bad day.
That's positive.
Anyway, she burst into tears and that, and she was shaking like a leaf. She was not right. And he said, "Well, look, would you like to come over and have a cup of coffee with me?" So she said, "Oh, please." And it turns out she had an abusive husband and she'd run away from him.
Right.
And what she had on her was all her clothing and everything, and she didn't know where she was going to go.
Oh.
She was just a loose end. She just did not know. She went to the bus garage and didn't know where she was going to go, do, or anything.
Yeah.
So he said, "Look," he had a flat. He said, "I've got a spare bedroom in my flat." He said, "You're willing to, use that as your room?"
Yeah.
And she could trust him. He's a very gentlemanly sort of person.
Yeah.
And she came back with him, and she stayed in his flat, you see. Anyway, he had he had a spare ticket because his mate couldn't make it. He was Tom and Dick.
Right.
So he had this spare ticket to go to Vienna. Isn't that really weird? For a separate room. Because him and his mate booked, I don't know what it was, rooms or, I don't know what it was. But anyway, he booked this room every year. He went the same time every year, you see. So, and he had a telephone in the room and everything. It wasn't timeshare or anything like that.
No.
And so he said, "Look, I've got a spare ticket to go to Vienna. Do you want to come with me?" He said, "It's a separate bedroom." He said, she thought, "Yes, please." Well, cut a long story sideways. En route, he taught her a bit of German so she could speak some German, and they fell for each other.
Oh.
No, I said it. Anyway,
You.
on with the story. They fell for each other, and when she came back, Stockholm syndrome kicked in because she had, I think, 2 teenagers.
Right.
And she went back with the abuser. But that's not the end of the story, because they grew up, the teenagers, about a year went past, and she'd really had enough of this abuser. She got away from him and went to Dave's flat, and he wasn't there, and she realised he's in Vienna.
Right.
Yes, that's the time of the year. So she booked, I think, a flight to Vienna, and she got off, got in the local telephone booth, and she could speak a little bit of German because he taught her some German. Phoned through the number that he had, because this was late 90s, I think, just before mobile phones came in.
Yeah.
And sure enough, he answered the phone. Guten Abend, guten Abend, and they were together. Lovely story.
Yeah.
Now that is what you call, what was it now? Serendipity.
Yeah.
So it does happen. So there's something positive. Now you think she left this abusive husband, nowhere to go.
His marriage was
no. That's right. His marriage was up the tits up. His mate couldn't go to Vienna because he was Tom and Dick.
Yeah.
He had a spare ticket, and he bought a suitcase.
Yeah.
Now you think about it. If you'd have been a few minutes later, a few minutes earlier, you'd have missed her.
Exactly. Yeah.
So that's the
meant to be.
Meant to be. So there it is. So I hope I've helped some people to look into, and I'm interested in this pineal gland. But again, be really, really careful. Yeah. Don't do it with someone you don't know.
Yeah.
Make sure, and I think husbands and wives or partners and that could actually heal each other doing this. I've tried to find out more about this, and it's very, very patchy. The information on it, very patchy. You've got the giggles.
And he said, "Husband and wife could do it." And I said, "No, it's all right, thanks."
No. Well, actually, sometimes when you go to supermarkets, I mean, my local supermarket, well, I say local one, it's fair distance away. It's one of these big bloody places.
Oh, superstar.
You see these really obese people walking around. You think to yourself, how can there be a couple? You know?
Yeah.
You know, but that's my little performance for tonight. I hope it wasn't too serious.
No,
I hope it hasn't given everybody manic depressant. And I hope it's giving people hope.
Yeah,
because it's going to be positive. It's a positive hope. Yeah. It's a positive thing. And remember,
true.
Remember this little diagram.
Yes.
There it is. That's the subconscious, conscious, and the subconscious, and the paradigm. Change the paradigm. Yes. So you just keep thinking all the time, everything's positive, everything's okay.
Positive thinking.
And you find things come to you. You know, like, you know, for example, I thought of some dog shit the other morning. I walked out and trotted the bar. But that's a sort of a little. I do hope I've given people a positive message. You can do it. You know, there's no such thing as can't. And if you are depressed and down, you know, please don't get into the situation that I did, because it is downward spiral. Yeah. Think on the positive side, and it's not easy, but there are people here. We're here to think on the positive. So please, please, please do that. And I do hope I've cheered some people up, not made them believe manically depressed. Look, bloody hell, he's made me depressed as anything tonight. He really has. But, you know, oh, this is nice. What was it? I was like that when I met Rosie.
Can I just point out that Rosie's a car?
Well, actually, Rosie's the name of my bloody push bike.
God.
I'm not having a relationship with my push bike. Yes, it fits neatly on my arse as I'm cycling along.
Oh, you can make it up. What's that about?
Do you know what the name of my other push bike is called? Passing Wind.
What?
No, Passing Wind. Because people say, why do you call it Passing Wind? It's because I like passing wind. It's a passing wind as you go along. You pass.
I'm going to do it from my window. Mad. You're all mad. What am I doing here?
but seriously, I'm wondering whether I've found something accidentally that heals.
Possibly.
It's a very strange coincidence that happens. Yeah. Suddenly my whole sort of my paradigm shifted.
Yeah.
It's weird. But again, never become a meme, because I was a meme. No. And I own up to it. Don't be a meme. I this, I that. No.
I've never been a meme, really. Even when I was depressed, I was never a meme.
Well, yeah, but if you're on your own a long time, you become a meme.
Yeah. Yeah,
because you're the only person you've got to think about is yourself.
Well, yeah, I suppose, yeah.
Yeah, so memes, and of course that is the biggest off-putting thing ever, to meet someone and you're a meme.
Yeah.
But, you know, what's this? Ancient, as Hatchy says, Ancient Ruby, I've just spent 3 years living in a garden shed and been treated like an animal.
Have you?
Oh dear, sorry for that. Oh, blimey. Yes. Well. It says,
I'm hoping things get better then. That was a bit random.
What's that? Tricky Dicky. Bless you, Ancient Ruby. Tearing myself away now. Because cervical dystonia is a muscle abnormality in the neck. Oh,
I knew it was something to do with your neck.
Dicky, yeah. Which can result in tremoring. Oh no, stiff up. Which can be embarrassing. Goodbye again. Yeah. Oh,
I think he's got to be up for it. Not sure.
Yes, I'm sorry. Actually, we could send him some healing thoughts, shall we?
Yes. Get the tinkling music.
Why don't we? Yeah, mate. Hang on for a few minutes.
No, I think he's gone anyway. We'll
do it. You know, let's heal him, shall we? Here we go.
I do like the tinkling music.
I do like. I'll tell you something. I used to work with a woman. She's a little bit older than me, And in hindsight, I realised she was like me. She was like there was no chemistry there between us. We were good friends, that's all, but with no chemistry there. And I did have the opportunity for her to be my partner. The partners, we live in a house,
Right.
But eventually she found someone before it happens. So, because to me, there's a lot of people live in partnerships that don't really get on, that's, I say don't get on. We got on, but we just no chemistry there.
Yeah.
But she joined a dating agency. And that is one of the most depressing things ever, because you meet all the contents of the Hoover bag.
Yeah.
And we went through them and we wrote something. I actually looked up the diary, and some of the things the people met. One of them is, we said the Michelins, didn't we?
Yeah.
Then it was the baggage handlers.
Yeah.
Baggage handlers have got so much they've got more baggage than UPS.
Yeah.
So the other one is Silent Wonders.
Jet 2 line at the airport.
That's right. Silent Wonders. Yeah. Silent Wonders. Poor me syndrome. Meme. Yeah, that's a meme. Yeah. That. And then the other one is preeners.
Oh yes.
Hang on. This is blokes as well. Yeah. Preeners. Yes. Then there's the martini girls, the blokes, and bed hoppers for the women.
Yeah.
You see, now the martini girl is, there used to be an advert, anytime, any place, anywhere.
Anywhere, yeah.
You see, and the bed hoppers, she said that when she saw this bloke coming across the concourse, I'll never forget it. They always wear white trousers, something about a blazer with a handkerchief tacked in the top, red tie, box of chocolates and a rose.
Yeah.
And then she said they visually undressed her. Just like,
I would rather be on my own than go on a dating site, I swear to God.
Yes, and 10 years older than she said, than they said, or 20 years, or 30 years. But always the same: white trousers, blazer, red tie, bucket, box of chocolates, and a red rose. That's what you call ponce. And personally, I don't like ponce. I don't do ponce.
No.
I've never liked ponce. Poncy restaurants, poncy clothing. Anything ponce is expensive and shit.
I'm comfy. That's me.
Yeah, I like comfy.
That's
it. Pubs, poncy pubs will charge you twice as much for shit. Whereas you go to a nice old-fashioned pub round the corner, it's perfectly okay.
A couple of quid a pint, you're in.
Well, that's right. I mean, I've always found that, if you find a good restaurant, cafe, I'm not a restaurant person.
Yeah.
If you go to a good cafe and they serve you bloody good food, they'll be far superior than a poncy restaurant where 9 times out of 10 I've had bleeding stomach upset afterwards.
Yeah, exactly, I
had some prawns once at a poncy bleeding restaurant. And, well, let's put it this way. I didn't get out of the loo for about 3 days.
No.
Yes, I had the what they call it, the hopscotch.
2-bit tits. No. What is it? 2-bit tits.
That was it, the Bengal hopscotch. That's what you have. 2 bob bits.
That's the one, not 2-bit tits. Oh God, it's all going horribly wrong.
Right, have you got the other advert coming up?
We've got the other advert because it is relevant to what you've just been saying about the supermarket. So let's see what we've got on offer this week. Hey, bargain hunters. Don't forget to call into your local Fock and Fresh stores this week, where you'll find lots of tasty discounts. Wondering what to do for tea? Why not have a truly authentic Oriental night? Start off with some sticks and dips, and then dive into these shrimp flavour cracks. Yummy. Head to our Fresher Than Rotten food counter and grab yourself a pound of these. You can add them to a tasty soup, only minutes to prepare. Wash that down with our exclusive terra squash, and what a feast you've had, and all at a scrumptious price too. So come on down, grab a trolley and head in for a taste sensation you won't find anywhere else. I'm sorry to announce that our trolley collector Pete is off this week with the screaming abdabs. All of us here at Fock and Fresh Stores wish you a speedy recovery. The speedier the better if you don't mind, mate, because those trolleys don't collect themselves and it's not our job. But anyway, get well soon. Fock and Fresh Stores, produce you can't trust. It's doing it when you're laughing.
That is absolutely brilliant. I like that one. Fock and Fresh Stores, you know.
Poor old Pete. Get well soon, Pete.
Mind you, I've been to places like that. I mean, I actually found out, I got some advice from a lot of contract blokes that went overseas, and they said the best places to go is the street food, because you don't get dodgy guts. You get dodgy guts if you stay in the European hotels.
Yeah.
If you go to because a lot of these places, the advice was always go where the locals go.
Yeah.
And that's the same.
Yeah.
That's right. Also with London, you know, if you go to London, I used to work in London. You found all the back streets. You'd never ever get your sandwiches from the high street. You'd always go around the back streets.
Yeah.
You see, go where the office workers go because they know where it is.
Yeah.
Unless you want the flaming abdabs, you know.
The 2-bit tits, whatever it is.
Yes, that's right. But what's this now? We got a lot more in. I like that with when I met Rosie the cat.
Not a car, not a cat.
Sorry, a car.
Yeah.
A car. Oh, sorry, I thought it was a cat. A car called Rosie.
A car called Rosie.
Well, that's interesting, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
Yeah. Yes, but now this is quite interesting. What Ancient Ruby said. We're all beamies sometimes. When I was born into a shit shovel and was stuck on it. And I felt loud. Well, when I was born, and this is true, my mother pooed herself and I slid out. So my first impression of the world was
this is a lot of shit. No.
I was in the shit then. I stood. But it's funny that because you know they say that show was it 7 Up, whatever they called it, where they had children were about 7 years old and they plotted them all through their lives. I think they're in about 60s now.
Yeah.
And it wasn't quite right because a lot of them turned out completely different. The middle class ones became dropouts.
Yeah.
And it was really weird. It was. I found it depressing actually. It's very sort of it's shitty, you know.
Yeah.
Now the other one is I like this what you said, Dad. What was this? My chemistry step blew up. But
like that bloke on Facebook where he sets light to that thing and it all goes dark, and then when he comes back on, all his hair's in his face. It
is nothing like a Big Mac. What's that? What's actually said? Ancient Ruby, I'm on chicken and chips. I'm saving my steak for Christmas. It's getting very rare and will do as time moves on.
Yeah, well, it'll get that expensive. You won't be able to buy it.
Yes. I'm hoping to do on Thursdays top tips and things like that, because at the moment, this is because Miles can't come on every week because he's so busy. I mean, when you just look at his book that's filled up 3-month waiting list.
Yeah.
3 to 4 months waiting list. That proved without doubt he's good. Very, very good.
Yes.
And he's going to be talking about vitamins this week. I hope you could all join us at 8 o'clock.
Yes, that'd be good.
Thursday the 13th. Funny day to start a new, but we're still going to have Monday show. We're still carrying on the same. Yeah. And as I say, you got 3 doses of me this week, so you know.
Yeah. But be all crisped out.
Yeah, so you'll all be sort of like that's most of the time.
Chris fatigue.
Sorry, Chris fatigue. Yes.
Chris fatigue.
Yes, but now hang on a minute. What's this? Lauren Belcher. Hello, Lauren. What is your favourite Beatles song? Well, I don't like Beatles very much, but I kind of like Sergeant Pepper's. A Day in the Life is not bad.
Yeah.
And
8 days a week.
Yes. Because did you know that when Sergeant Pepper's album came out, this is another true story, the Beatles were so pissed out their brain on drugs that when they played it, they said, "This is a good group. Who are they?" because the engineers have done such a good job.
Didn't recognise it.
Yes, but Sergeant Pepper, I think, is probably their best album. But I don't think they're all that really. I thought that.
No, I've never really been into them, but I can sing every song and know every single word. I don't know how that works.
Yes, that's a very strange thing, you know. But Ancient Ruby's an interesting one here. What's this? It says, "Sorry you have that, yet CBD oil with THC will solve that, tricky dicky. Try to get some. There's anyone trouble with CBD oil in this country? They're not allowed to put. It's not only that, not allowed to put much in it.
No,
because it'll do the people out of business.
Yeah.
Put it this way: visit Amsterdam.
Yeah.
It's legal over there.
I'll pick some grass.
Yes, but no, it's quite interesting, you know. But was it? Hang on, what's this? I'm off to watch Married at First Sight on E4 now, but we'll catch up later. I only wrote that because it's so pathetic to me and amusing, in my opinion. Good night all, and I'll catch up later. Well, the thing is, do you remember that blind date with Sheila Black and all that?
Hey up, Chalk.
It was cringing.
Yeah, it was.
Because, quite honestly, to find someone that way, you're probably better off to go through a telephone directory or just sort of go...
Yeah, just...
or not, just go down a road somewhere and just ring the doorbell, you know. You know what I mean? It's sort of, it's all hyped up.
Yeah, it is.
What is chemistry? We don't know what chemistry is.
It's just
and
that.
I think, yeah, that's sort of, wow, you know. Because tonight, the introduction, I was going to put 10cc, I'm not in love. And I thought, oh, believe that, because he did pretty right. So I love that shit. But it's just not right. Then I got this crackly 1940s, Joe out the negative and bring in. And I thought, yeah. No. So in the end, I thought just to see would be nice. You know,
that was very calming.
Yes, that's right.
I like to see.
Right. Anyway, I think we can wrap this up tonight unless somebody's got something interesting to say. I do hope you found this helpful.
Yes.
And it's something I'm studying. I will give people updates on how this is going. But, you know, you push out the negative. Hang on, Adrian, Beatles are so overrated. I never liked them.
Yeah.
Well, did you know, allegedly, Brian Epstein, who was their manager, bought up thousands and thousands of their records to get them to the top?
That won't surprise me.
Because I thought they were average. I didn't think they were that good. And somebody, I think it's Ron, one of the researchers, who does some research for me. Hello, Ron. He actually said that ELO was the evolution from the Beatles.
All right. I like
ELO.
ELO.
Like John Lennon. I like ELO.
I know all the words to their songs as well, and I don't know how.
Was it? I wish I was a Wild West hero.
I haven't heard that one.
I wish I was a Wild West hero. Dee, 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 dee.
I recognise that.
You can tell I'm a top musician, you know, things like that, you know. So we've had Love Story with a car tonight.
Yes.
Rosie the car. I've got Rosie the bike.
Yeah.
So what more could we want, you know? So
we've got him with his suitcase.
Sorry?
We've got him with his suitcase and that little love story as well.
Yes, and the lady who was in the love story, she narrated it. I heard it. I got it on audio somewhere. It's a lovely story, isn't it? I mean, it's a sort of, you know, but serendipity.
Yeah.
You just don't.
I like
what is it? You don't know your luck until you tread in it.
Yeah.
Or one foot goes silent.
Yeah.
Or you suddenly added a platform soul. And you think, where did that come from? My leg's slightly. It's like have you ever trodden in fox shit? I have.
Yes.
Fox is particularly nasty. And what happened?
Shit.
That's right. And got it accidentally on the pedals of your car. So the next day, the door almost opens on its own.
Yeah. It's rank. It's not to be recommended.
No, definitely not. Anyway, thank you everyone for joining us tonight.
Yes, thank you.
I hope it wasn't too serious. I tried to lighten it up a little bit.
I better
So I hope
line my outro up, haven't I?
Sorry? You got your line your outro up. And also, as I say, if you haven't shot yourself like before, after listening to that boring fart, you know, I can't stand it. Don't take that statistic too seriously. The 1 in 850,000.
Yeah.
Don't take it too seriously. Always a great show with you two, and I always look forward. Oh, that's very kind, Ancient Room, to it. Have a good week ahead, and to all in chat too. Keep trooping and never give up, for some good comes out of bad eventually. Yes, well, this is what I'm saying about this situation we've got now that's happened over the last 2 or 3 years. Everyone is too negative about it.
Yeah.
It doesn't actually. We've got to look on the positive. It will turn out okay. It will happen. And that's it. And this is what they're frightened of, because wars, and it's like every war, is fought in the hearts and minds of people. And that is very, very dangerous, because they can manipulate that. So please join us, 8 o'clock. I was going to say next Monday. Yes, next Monday as well, but also additionally this Thursday. And if the Samaritans are not engaged, you could join me at 8 o'clock on Friday as well. And remember,
not me.
Whatever happens, have a bloody good laugh.
Do it.
Thank you very much. And good night.